The wine hit me like a slap. Warm, sweet, red enough to look like blood under the chandelier's glow. The restaurant fell silent. Only the orchestra continued, strings trembling like they sensed what was unraveling beneath the velvet lights. Her mother leaned back in her seat, lips curled, savoring humiliation like a fine dessert. "Pay the bill," my wife hissed, "or this ends here." Her mother laughed, a sharp, satisfied sound. I wiped the wine calmly from my jaw. My pulse didn't rise. I had practiced restraint for years. Suffering quietly was my native tongue. People mistake silence for weakness until they choke on it. The waiter hovered, unsure whether to stay or run. I said nothing. I just looked at her, really looked. The woman who once pretended to love me. The woman who thought control equaled devotion. She had always underestimated quiet men. Then my phone buzzed. A message. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." My daughter-in-law's voice followed, shrill and entitled when I picked up the call. I listened, I absorbed, I gave no reaction. "Enjoy," I said, and hung up. Two different worlds, same disease. Entitlement has a smell. I sat back in my chair, wine staining my collar, my dignity untouched. Everyone thought they held power over me in that moment. They had no idea what I already knew, and what I was about to expose. Humiliation is rarely sudden. It accumulates, like mold in a forgotten corner. I noticed it long before the wine. The secret smirks, the whispered calls she thought I couldn't hear, the growing contempt in her mother's eyes, as if I were a stray dog allowed inside out of mercy. I ignored it at first. Hope makes fools of us. Then there were the receipts. Designer items I didn't recognize, charged to cards I never touched, spa trips with a friend, a necklace box tucked inside her drawer, male initials engraved. Not mine. She kissed me like habit, not hunger. She touched me like obligation, not love. My name fell from her lips with the same tone she used for the driver. Disgust coated her affection. And I pretended not to see, because truth is a painful surgeon. I noticed even more. Her mother testing boundaries, speaking over me, speaking for me, mocking the quietness I wore like armor. Their voices merged, superiority layered thick, like they were royalty, and I was lucky to orbit their world. And I stayed silent. I let them build their throne out of arrogance. I let them believe I needed their approval, their invitations, their petty validation. But loyalty is not blindness, and betrayal grows louder in stillness. The final crack came days before the restaurant incident. A wrong number. A male voice whispering her name like sin. I didn't confront. I observed. I let suspicion sharpen into certainty. I chose patience, because wrath tastes better aged. I started moving quietly. Phone records, location history, bank statements. I didn't need rage. I needed truth. Private investigator. DNA test for a child she always claimed looked nothing like me because genetics are funny. Screenshots, transcripts, proof layered meticulously, each page a knife disguised as paper. I mirrored normalcy while my world reassembled into clarity. Breakfast routines, soft nods, a quiet presence. Inside, I dissected every memory. Was I naive? Yes. Weak? No. You don't trap a snake by screaming. You watch it coil. I found her chats, saw the plans with the other man, saw the messages mocking me, calling me passive, calling me a burden, bragging about upgrading soon. Her mother encouraged her. Men exist to fund comfort. Make him pay until he's dry. And the daughter-in-law? Her arrogance wasn't random. It was generational rot. They fed off pride and saw kindness as prey. I booked nothing for Thanksgiving. I packed nothing. I simply waited. People reveal themselves when they believe they've won. The envelope arrived that morning. DNA results. Proof of financial fraud. Photos. Screenshots. Truth doesn't need volume, only timing. At the restaurant, as wine dripped down my face and their laughter poisoned the air, I placed the folder on the table. "For you," I said quietly. Her fingers trembled before she even opened it. Guilt reacts before the mind does. Page by page, her color drained. Her mother leaned in, entitlement dissolving into panic. Silence swallowed the room like a predator. You investigated me?" she whispered, voice cracking. "No," I said softly. "I simply stopped pretending not to see." Her throat tightened. Her breath stuttered. The orchestra swelled, not for them, but for the death of their illusion. I watched them crumble. Detached, aware, finally awake. I stood. No raised voice, no threats, no begging for closure. Quiet is the sharpest revenge. "I won't pay your bill," I said. "Not today, not ever again." Her mother sputtered. "You can't just walk away." I already did. I left the folder, and the marriage, and every ounce of dignity they believed they could drain from me. Outside, my phone buzzed again. 71 missed calls. My daughter-in-law had finally seen the photos I posted. My real life. Not the modest apartment I let them assume was mine, but my villa in Switzerland, my private lake, my life they were never entitled to touch. Suddenly, the man they mocked was valuable. Funny how greed turns regret into desperation. I turned the phone off. Let them drown in their shock. Entitlement dies hardest when confronted with indifference. I watched the city lights blur as I walked. Cold air, sharp clarity. Freedom doesn't roar, it exhales. They thought they crushed me, humiliated me, controlled me. But they never understood. I don't fight for people who treat me like an option. I let them watch me become unreachable. I didn't lose a wife. I shed a parasite. And when silence settled around me, it didn't feel empty. It felt earned. There is nothing colder than a man who finally sees truth, and nothing more powerful than the moment he stops caring. I didn't turn back. I never will. Some endings don't need fire, just a door closing and the knowledge that they'll hear it forever.